In the deep woods, where shadows stretched through the frozen trees, David, a nature explorer, found two white deer. Their eyes glowed like fading stars in the gloom. With each step David took, they stalked, and their presence became more intrusive. The deer followed him, lurking in the darkness, avoiding direct contact but emitting an extraterrestrial allure. David felt their influence pulling him into an abyss of uncharted emotion. He was immersed in a maddening fog of strange visions, consumed by unknown desires. One day, in a cold forest where the trees seemed to whisper secrets, he followed the deer into the darkest and deepest part of the woods. Here, in a place where the snow had not fallen and the ground was covered with a dark shroud, the deer stood around an ancient altar, their eyes shining with the rippling light of twinkling stars. Suddenly David felt something inside him clench, as if strange forces were trying to pierce his mind. A voice, formless and ancient, echoed through his mind, "You have come where light has become darkness. You have touched the sacred. You should not have come here." The deer, its gaze piercing to the very soul, reared its head, radiating light and darkness at the same time. Around David, the walls of reality began to melt away, exposing the chaos of the dark dimension. Where the forest disappeared, dark entities began to slowly build their way out. David's fate remained as shaky as a ghost in the darkness. Eerie shadows enveloped him like the cold hands of death, and he found himself in an endless maze of gloom and vanishing contours. His screams died out in the icy wind that swallowed him up as if he had become part of the forgotten darkness. The deer disappeared into the gloom and David's footprints dissolved into the fathomless darkness, leaving only coldness and despair in the void. Their mysterious connection became part of the legends of the forest, warning the brave against trespassing into unknowable spaces where reality merges with nightmares. David's disappearance remained a mystery to the locals. Their legends spoke of a lost soul consumed by the darkness of the forest. Those who dared to go there heard the wind whispering their names ominously in the cold nights when the moon did not shine. The place where the deer guarded their sacred place became a forbidden zone. But one day, whether by fate or an unknowable impulse of curiosity, another explorer entered this forest. The fire of exploration blazed in his eyes. He hoped to uncover the secrets that were hidden in this monstrous corner of the world. The deer, long awaiting the arrival of the new gawker, came out to meet him, eyes glowing brightly, urging him to submit to their influence. But as he approached the dark altar, he heard their soft whispers calling him to something deep and uncharted. As he touched the ancient stones of the altar, the world around him began to distort. Trees bent and their branches pierced the sky like stone needles. Dark shadows enveloped him, and he was plunged into a vortex of chaos and misery. Soon after, indistinct whispers sounded in the forest, and only a cold wind blew between the tree trunks. Even the moon seemed unclear and changed its light. But no trace of the explorer or his names was ever heard again. The legends lived on, and those who braved the abyss knew that this forest was not just a place, but a dark arena where human desires and sinister forces met, awaiting their next invasion. The story of David and his follower remained in an endless circle of fear and oblivion, forever living on in mysterious songs and vanished footprints in the dark earth of the forest.